welcome to the Sharpshooter. Today my guests are Sean and Jack Grande. How are you doing?
Good.
We're doing great, Ollie.
Let's talk wrestling.
Yes.
Favorite wrestlers?
Drew McIntyre. I like Roman Reigns. And I like Ric Flair. I like a lot of wrestlers.
See, that's old school. That was one of my favorites from when because I started watching when I was a little older than you, Ollie, when I was about Jack's age, maybe a little bit older than him. And the champion back way back when I started watching was a guy named Bob Backlund. And he was my favorite. He was my childhood hero.
So that's the influence there, huh?
My favorite wrestlers?
Yeah. What about you, Ollie?
Yeah.
What do you like?
Kid Chaos.
And who is Kid Chaos?
Me.
Yeah, that's his wrestling personality, his alter ego.
Yeah,
But
Jack's
who else?
What's your finishing move, though, Kid Chaos?
I have lots of them.
Yeah, just throw them out there. What do you got?
Flying Razor Slash.
Flying Razor Slash.
Flying Razor Slash. That sounds like it would work.
He's hit me with that a few times.
Sure.
Not pleasant. What about the other, your other one? The setup for that. The punch.
Electric Punch.
Electric punch.
The electric punch. Mm-hmm.
That sounds catchy.
MVP, not Bellator's MVP, but WWE's MVP, said that sounds like a really refreshing drink that he would like to have, an electric punch. So those are his moves for his alter ego. But what about some of the other wrestlers you like that inspired you?
John Cena.
John Cena. He's
yeah.
a big Cena guy.
The Rock.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who else? How about some of our friends that have come on and spent some time with
Jack
us?
Swagger.
All right.
Ollie, I heard you talk to a great guy by the name of Rikishi.
That's right.
X-Pac.
X-Pac.
Right.
Not too shabby of a list there. A little mix of old school and new school.
MVP.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's his group now, Jack?
The Hurt Business.
The Hurt Business.
That's right. Yeah, that's a fun gimmick they got going on there. What else you got here, Ollie? How do we?
Favorite tag teams?
Okay, Street Profits
I don't know them.
and New Day.
Oh, okay. You know New Day.
My
How
favorite.
does it go with those?
It's a little.
Give it up for your boys, right?
It's the boys, the New Day.
Yeah. And
It's too easy for me.
and too easy for you. It's an easy question. So let's hear it.
Usos.
The Usos.
Oh yeah.
They beat the Miz and John Morrison many times.
Oh really? Yeah. I like them.
They've got quite the rivalry there. So his favorite, the Usos kind of go hand in hand with how he got exposed, how it was our first father-son experience. SmackDown at the SAP Center.
Until one of the Usos
Jose.
went to Roman Reigns' side.
Yeah, that's very recent. But back in February of this year, so
What?
before world went mad.
When I was 5?
Yeah, we got a chance to go to the SAP Center to watch SmackDown.
Usos were there live.
Yes, and that kind of took the fandom. He hasn't been the same since.
Well, get a load of this, Ollie. So Jack became a fan about a month after the world changed and we were all at home and there were no more fans. And he became this huge WWE fan. And guess where SummerSlam and Raw and SmackDown and everything, you know where that was supposed to be this year? Right here in Boston, about a 15-minute walk down this street.
Oh.
So Jack would have been able, he would have seen everything. He would have gone to all those shows. He would have got to see everything in person. Instead, he's watched, he's had to watch everything on TV with no fans. And he got to be during Survivor Series last week. Where were you?
The WWE Thunderdome.
He was in the Thunderdome. He was one of the fans in the Thunderdome. So you've already been to a live event. Jack did go once when he was younger, but he doesn't remember. But
I sort of remember.
But as a fan, he hasn't even gotten to go to one yet because they haven't had fans yet.
Yeah, hopefully we can make up for lost time here soon, huh?
We went to Thunderdome,
Yeah, you were in the Thunderdome a few times.
and then Mommy told me to hang up
Yeah, then we were on the computer for a little too long, but
because I watched like a movie or something.
yeah, you had spent too much time on your devices that day. But how cool is the Thunderdome, huh?
My
Not
school,
bad.
my school is 2 hours and a half.
Yeah,
Wow.
on the thing too. So you spend time on the computer.
But at least I don't have school today.
You know, it's funny, a guy that your dad and I used to work with at Bellator and at the TV station that used to have the Bellator fights on is the guy. It's his company that John Slusser, who invented, who's doing all the video, the Thunderdome video technology.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, that's how we got in, Ollie.
It's such a small world. It's somebody we know who came up with that. His company came up with that idea of having to figure out how to put fans and people like you and Jack up on screens so the wrestlers could feel like there were fans there.
Shout out to Slusser and Eric Burak for all that work, fellas. And thanks for the invites.
We saw The Fiend versus The Miz. The Fiend beat him.
Yeah, that was the dark main event that
Mandible Claw
that night. And man, isn't the Fiend, speaking of the Fiend, isn't his entrance like, it was scary, huh?
And now he has a partner.
Well, he does. He's with who's hanging out with the Fiend all the time now?
Alexa Bliss.
Alexa Bliss.
Do you like the Fiend, Jack?
Actually, I do.
He does.
I think it's a terrific gimmick myself, or a great character, I should say. Excuse me, but
He already killed Friendship Frog.
Yeah, it was a bad day for Friendship Frog. So I'm trying to find something to show you because Jack one day was asking me about the mandible claw. And so
Dangerous.
and he said, how do you do it and how does it work? And it occurred to me that I've got a friend that I could text to find out more information about the mandible claw.
Ollie,
And so
let's see if we can guess who that friend is. Who used the mandible claw first? He's old school, wears a flannel, a big beard.
Goldberg?
No. The beard part's close. Remember? He has the sock.
Mankind.
That's right.
So Mankind is a friend of ours. And in fact, we got married. When I got married to my wife a little over a year ago, Jack was the best man. And Mankind, our friend, did a reading at the wedding. So he was up on the altar with us. Anyway, he's a friend. And so I texted him. I'm trying to find it for you. But he basically, I said, Jack wants to know how the mandible claw, how do you apply it? So he texted, he said, you got to hold under the bottom of the mouth. And anyway, we got the actual way to put the mandible claw on from Mankind. He texted us to tell Jack how to do it.
How cool is that?
You get your hand, stick it at the bottom of your mouth, and then take it out.
Yeah, but
It's where the nerves are.
It's dangerous.
They're little
I think-
nuances, but
AJ McKee was about to do that, I think, in the last. He was gonna do that to Darian. I think that was the next thing he was going to pull out.
yeah. Well, speaking of the mandible claw and devastating finishers, what are some of your other favorite finishers?
Claymore, because my favorite guy does the Claymore. I like the frog splash. I like all the high flying moves from the top rope.
Yeah, I can tell you that my couch has now been the victim of many frog splashes over the last few months. Many frog splashes have driven the couch. Yeah. We've basically broken through the bottom, the floor underneath us.
So all the fun what you guys are talking about, our living room has turned into a ring as well. Ollie, some of your favorite finishing moves?
X-Scissor?
Is that one of Kid Chaos's?
Yes.
Yeah. What about some of the moves from your favorite wrestlers that we would like to watch and study?
Attitude Adjustment?
Oh, yeah.
Good
People's
one.
Elbow?
Okay. And
Sharpshooter?
of course,
Sharpshooter.
the name of our show here. And
We
who,
just saw last night, right? Didn't Natty beat Bailey, right?
Natalia beat Bailey with a sharpshooter.
Shooter. And who was the guy that is the
Bret
Godfather?
the Hitman Hart.
That's right. Shout out to the Hitman.
John Cena called out a team to beat up some people, and Bret the Hitman Hart was one of them.
That's right. We did watch that.
And then he scared all of the other team away.
Yes, he's a true legend. People respect him. They don't want to mess with him.
I wouldn't.
Tell me about your wrestling career
Character.
So
how Ollie is Kid
Kid
Chaos. Who would you be?
I might be the Fiend because he looks like he can just beat everybody so easily.
So you would be like a Fiend character, just like. Do you like what about that character? Do you like?
I would actually want to be like I would want to be like a John Cena guy, like a really big face. I would want to be a face.
Oh,
Yeah.
Face, huh? And
Yeah.
So a face is a what?
baby face.
And what are those?
Good guys.
Okay,
And a bad guy is the heel.
that's right. So
The Fiend controlled John Cena once.
yeah, that was very interesting. Glad you appreciate that. But Jack, you will want to be a face then.
Yes.
Why don't you tell him about your project for school?
Oh yeah. So in the school, we're writing an information book, and I chose my subject wrestling. Wrestling is my subject, and so each chapter is about a different wrestler.
Who's it dedicated to?
Mick Foley.
Wow, another proud Papa moment, huh, Sean? Am I right?
Yeah, this is exactly what I thought school would be. Getting reports about wrestling.
Oh, that's fantastic. Ollie, let me ask.
Dad's question?
Yeah, let's get some questions for the dads. Sean,
Gotta be kidding me.
that's the dad takeover for now. Just a couple questions, and then
One
then
question.
I'll hand it back to you. Sean, what's it like to be able to do this?
I'm going to
To
bed.
enjoy, being able to watch with Jack and enjoy all of this.
It's been pretty amazing because he's almost the identical age that I was, like almost identical when I got hooked on it. So it's like we're almost 40 years apart. It was almost 40 years ago. And I think, as you know, Dad, the best part of this is a three-dimensional, it's like you're living in Back to the Future. You're watching your childhood in a lot of ways unfold, in front of you, like a lot of the same experiences you had. So to watch him sort of fall in love with wrestling the way I did at the exact same age has been pretty amazing because it brings you back to that time when you were that age and seeing it for the first time and how exciting it all was. So, and I did not see it coming in any way. Jack's been a big NBA fan. He's been a big baseball fan. He plays baseball. He's playing hockey now and all this other stuff. But wrestling came out of the blue. And it was because of the pandemic when ESPN started running those WrestleManias on Sunday night in March. That was the first time it was ever even on in the house. And it took him about 5 minutes and his eyes got all wide. And here we are 8 months later and he's an encyclopedia.
Wow.
Encyclopedia.
Yeah. Do you know what those are, Ollie?
Like a book?
Yeah. What kind of book?
I have a book, I think, in the living room.
Yeah. Yes, you do. It's a book just of knowledge.
It's a dinosaur book.
Yeah, you have a dinosaur encyclopedia, but you guys are on your way to becoming wrestling encyclopedias.
What? They're turning into books.
Yeah, you guys are, but in your head.
Okay.
And
I'm turning to Pokemon encyclopedia.
yeah,
It's true.
you are. Well, speaking of Pokemon, do you like Pokemon, Jack?
I have a couple Pokemon cards over there, I think.
Yeah, I think
I'm not really I don't really know it that well, but I have a couple cards. Wait, no, way more than a couple cards. I have a lot of cards.
Yeah,
You should watch a show.
Ollie knows Pokemon very well. What else? What else do we like that Sean could probably talk to us about? Sean and Jack could talk to us about?
Mm,
What sport? What sport do you and I watch that Daddy really loves?
basketball and
That's-
football.
Mhm.
I like
Basketball.
football more than basketball.
Yeah, you gotta
Steph
see.
Curry about to come back.
Nick.
Yeah. Well, what about basketball? What do you like about basketball? Who's your favorite basketball player?
LeBron James.
LeBron James. Yeah. There you go.
You gonna win again this year?
I don't know.
What do you think, though?
Probably.
I do. That seems right. I'm trying to prepare Jack for sort of the inevitable here. It's a big dramatic thing here because the Celtics in Boston here, Ollie, have always had the most championships. They won more championships than anybody from the beginning of basketball, from the beginning of the league.
And what's that number?
What's that number? How many championships?
17.
17.
17.
And over the last 40 years,
Yeah.
about 35 years ago, the Lakers had about 7 or 8. But over the last 35 years, they've caught up. And when they won the championship, they finally, after 50 years of chasing the Celtics, finally got their 17th this last year. So if the Lakers win this year, for the first time, really, the Lakers will have the most championships. So people are worried about that here.
Very worried.
And Jack, who's your favorite player?
Maybe Jason Tatum, Kemba Walker.
Yeah, one of the hometown guys, huh?
Yeah.
But it used to be Isaiah Thomas. And then what happened?
Oh, really?
I like Giannis.
Okay.
Well, Jack's had a very different kind of life, obviously, just as you have, Ollie. Not a lot of kids your age are doing podcasts, right, about wrestling, and you probably met a lot of fighters and things like that because of your dad. So when Jack was your age, I'm trying to do the math right. Your age, maybe a little bit younger. We had a player named Isaiah Thomas that everybody loved because he's a little tiny guy. He's like 5'9". He was one of the top scorers in the league, and everybody loved him. And Jack was just crazy about Isaiah Thomas. So one day I picked him up from school, which is near the garden, and we're walking into the garden to go to a game after school. And some big guy that looks like me, he was even much bigger than me, had an Isaiah Thomas jersey on. And Jack got all excited. He's like, Isaiah Thomas. I'm like, yeah, buddy, that's Isaiah Thomas jersey, whatever. So we walk into the garden, and all of my stuff, my suits and things like that, are in the locker room because I work for the Celtics. So I go into the locker room. So I take Jack with me. We walk into the building, and we walk downstairs in the corridor behind the court towards the locker room. And a guy walks by Jack and says, hey man, how you doing? And Jack says, hi, and just keeps walking by. And I stopped him. I said, Jack, that was the actual Isaiah Thomas. It wasn't some guy with the jersey. That's the actual guy. But because he didn't have the jersey on, he didn't react properly.
How was I supposed to know?
Because it was the guy. It was the actual guy. Isaiah Thomas.
But that kind of makes the story, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. All right, well, I think we're at that point where we like to sign off with. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh.
The kid's got some stuff to show us. Oh, he wants to show his collection off.
Oh, the Pokemon cards.
What else? While you're at it, let's show some of the other cards to our fellow sports fanatics. Some football cards here.
Nice.
Wait, I have more Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I thought my son had more cards than anybody else in history by age 6, but apparently I was wrong. I think wow.
Yeah.
Here's coming down the stairs with stand by.
Oh, okay. You have a few WWE cards too. Remember, I got you a few of those packs.
Also, I have a couple of minifigures. Here's one of them. AJ Styles.
Nice one.
I have a GX Pokemon card. Last day Charizard 250. GX move 250. This is him.
That's like
Nice.
That's the AJ
Looks
Styles.
We just pulled out Roman Reigns beating Drew McIntyre.
Where's your wrestling card? See if you can find it.
Brian?
Nice.
Speaking of Styles versus Cena.
John Cena won.
But what a match! Like and I only became a Cena fan recently because of him, because of Ollie. I used to just not really pay much attention. and very underrated.
I
Or
Yeah,
maybe
he's,
he's just discovering it now.
got
Who's
one.
that?
Mandy?
Oh, nice.
I have her. I don't think it's here, but I have her.
I'm not.
I pulled that random one. R-Truth.
Yeah, that's one of his
Ooh.
Oh snap!
Our truth.
Once he sang with the Miz "You Suck" song.
The only one that's banned, that's I get in trouble, and I'm not really allowed to collect Sasha Banks stuff. That's whatever. I can't imagine why my wife is against that, but that's a little bit of a problem. That's the new Alim Malay here.
Come on, Dana.
That's the new Ochinikova is
Yeah.
Sasha Banks.
Come on, Dana.
I like that, Ali.
Yeah, see, that's an encyclopedia. Like, what's
I've seen
Right.
that book, yeah.
Right.
It's actually it's in alphabetical order. Shows you all the Pokemon.
well, you guys are going to write the wrestling one day,
That's right.
and
That's right.
Legendary Pokemon.
Nice.
I heard those are good.
So Valai, Air Slash 120.
pretty cool.
It's dangerous too.
All right, hey Ollie. Well, it's about that time. This was super fun. Come on, Ollie. And we like to end with a message of positivity, since we are the podcast of positivity in pro wrestling. So, do you have anything to share? Something positive out there?
Well, I would say it's kind of what we talked about. Like, think about where you and I, Rich, were maybe 10 years ago or whatever, 15 years ago. The idea of being able to do what we just did, this right now, with our sons sitting next to us on our right hand, talking about things that we loved as a kid, and the beauty that wrestling, like sports or MMA or anything, that it's this line of connection between generations that we have. That we get to sort of relive our childhood and pretend we're not as old as we really are.
Pretty awesome.
I'm making a new podcast called Gotta Catch 'Em All. It's a Pokemon podcast.
Yeah, maybe
That's a
you'll
good
have-
idea.
and the
That'll be very popular.
creativity of just being able to, like you just said, to do
Maybe
all
you
these
should
cool
watch
things.
the shows to learn more,
There you go.
and maybe you could come on.
Yeah.
You guys should host your own show.
Yeah.
We might be onto something here, guys. Well, hey Ollie, let's thank Sean and Jack.
Bye. Thank you for coming on the Sharpshooter.
Thank you for having
A
us.
lot of
We
fun.
appreciate it.
Thank
Hi
you.
guys. Have a
Maybe
great
we'll take you
weekend.
on. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.